Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 10 of Kokai, our modded CS2 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, it's nice to be back. Been away from the city for a couple of weeks, as we have been in Edinburgh this week due to the Finland trip. However, you join me back today with a mass exodus of homeless. All these people walking down the highway, they're all leaving, so I guess that's a good sign. But there is a lot of them. Kokai had an absolutely enormous homeless population, but they are slowly all walking down the highway out of the city again. So I'll take that as a good sign that there's no more homeless knocking around the city anymore. It's a shame we couldn't house them, but either way they are leaving. But either way, in today's episode, what I would like to have a look at is a college campus. Our education needs need addressing a little bit. We might include an elementary as a bit of a sub-building to this campus as well today, kind of repurpose it as we always do. But our education demands are in need of addressing, especially with the college stuff as well. I've been eyeing up this little bay here, so a bit of context as to where we are here. Sully is over here, so it's likely we'll start a new township today that occupies these spaces, with an eventual flow down into a possible industrial town over here, because really want to make sure we keep on top of Kokai's industry, because we really did not with Edinburgh. So let's prepare our space a little bit here. I would like to do some terraforming initially, because we are coming up to a waterfront, so we are naturally sloping down. But because we're placing such a large asset in the form of the college today, I want to make sure that it is properly placed and isn't kind of sloping down or any awkward angles. So let's arrange the space here. So this is where I'm thinking. So let's first of all get our main building down, which today is going to be the vanilla college building. And let's have a little look at where we want this to sit. For some reason, since the first time I saw this bay, I had vision of the college kind of facing out toward the water at pretty much this orientation. Don't know why, it's something I can see in my mind is to have the college here. I think because we have so much coastline, and given this is going to be a college town, it would be a bit weird to not pay attention to that coastline. So I think I'd love to develop a little bit of a pedestrian walkway here. So I'm going to grab a height, and now I just want to tidy up this coastline so it's a bit more friendly towards a pedestrian key road. Do something like this. Really want to keep trying to mix and match in the things we do with the coastline in Kokai, because I think if we end up doing marinas or beaches everywhere, it will get a little bit samey. So I'm happy with that. Go ahead and give this a road connection. I think I'm likely to use pedestrian roads here. So I'll snap to the side of the building. And let's do pedestrian road up to the edges. Something like that. And then where we do have the car parking, it is going to make sense, I think, to move back to a car parking road here. Just bring those up. And then this one can come back in. 180 degrees snap there. We'll all merge it into the same node. Let's use a little bit of MoveIt's manipulate function here, just so we can widen this node out a little bit. Let's grab these little purple boys, and just want to stretch each of them out, so this node is a little bit wider. You can hold Alt on your keyboard for this, or you can just simply come to the manipulation feature here. You want to click on the segment, and then just drag that central node back. It's a little bit of poor man's node controller, but it's a very welcome a bit of functionality in for the MoveIt mod. Cool, so it just opens that up, but doesn't it allows it all to breathe a little bit. So with that in mind, let's come down now to more pedestrian roads out the front of our college campus here. So I'd really like to essentially continue the design here with the vanilla textures. So with the pedestrian road, let's come straight down from this way and pretty much bring it up to where that waterfront flattens out. Down to there on this one. And now let's use some road guideline and our curve tool. And then I just want to start piecing this together so it flows with that shoreline. fabulous. So that'll give us a walkable pedestrian waterfront. I'd also like it to come... I don't think we're going to end up using this bit. Terrain's a little bit too gnarly around here, so I think we'll loop it back up. And then we can just make a nice bit of, essentially, studying space for the students to enjoy. Feed that back in there. Lots of detailable spaces make themselves known. And then I think we probably will go ahead and give this the old road upgrades as well. Let's do key wall on the side of the road facing the water. And then we'll probably do it there as well. And then let it kind of rejoin the land. Where we'll push that mountain back and get some nice rock terraforming around there, I think. So let's tidy up the water line against the quay. Which will give us something a little bit like that. Which already draws a lot more attention toward that campus building, doesn't it? So how does that actually serve us for capacity? Yeah, pretty much right in there. So the upgrades on this, I believe, are the college library, which increases chances of graduation. Do we actually have any metric on the graduation chance here? Does dropout rate apply to it? Potentially. I never really actually considered dropouts, really. And then, of course, we have the extension wing as well, which will increase capacity, but I think for all right, we're in the green now, aren't we? Yeah, we're fine for right now. So talking about these central designs here that I want to respect, I'd love to have some fun with them. Let's come into our surfaces, and we'll grab surfaces, and I'm pretty sure my familiarity of the surfaces grows every week. I'm pretty sure it's this one, isn't it? It is indeed. Fantastic. So before we play with the textures, I'd just like to find out where the halfway point of this is going to be. So down toward the water is 122 meters. So let's come back to 64 there, or 56 is about as halfway as we can get it. I just want to know where halfway is in this little central strip. So we'll leave those two markers there as an indication of that halfway point. Then let's come back into our surfaces. I want to grab tile surface number 1. Which is the one that's present on the university. Then I just want to bring this down and then have it connect up at the nodes here. Now, a road guideline snap would be so useful for this, wouldn't it? Maybe one day. And then just feed it down toward these keys. Now, I don't want it to kind of fully fill this space, which is why we're doing it in such a specific shape. I essentially want each of these kind of walkable segments to meet up with the texture. It'll make sense once we've got it in, so let's time-lapse this up and make it look somewhat good. Out of the university, across the pathway, and then into this space. We can have a brief idea of what some detail might look like around here. Let's come on to a fancier tree. Let's use the pine actually. We never use the pine, do we? Let's throw this on a 21 meter prop line tool. And just in these middle spaces, looks like we can fit possibly 3 and then 2 trees. I think I'd be happy with that configuration. And then just have it come down to our waterfront. Very nice, right? That's going to be really cool. Also bush lining in here as well. It really isolates that mall run up to the front of the college, doesn't it? So initially when we first started playing CS2, I kind of hated the fact that all these assets came fully decorated. Like, I wanted to do all this stuff. I think now we have the mods available and things like Better Bulldozer. We can really just use it as a natural extension of the asset, and we'll do something similar around the back as well here, I think, where we've got that same tile texture appearing. Don't like that, don't mind it at all. Now let's delete these side markers, and I think we'll also complement the walkability with a little bit of invisible pedestrian pathway, which is here. So let's just come off all of our snap-ins. As long as we're getting that green hook in line, we know that our sims will use this pathway. Do the same thing over here again as well. We just cut straight through. I think we can. Yep, that makes all that space walkable. Same again up the middle. Then I think as we pass by here, let's snap to existing geometry. I think we'll just have these spaces kind of devolve into greenbelt, picnic bench, the occasional gazebo, our usual friendly neighborhood park detailing vibes. But I really want to try funnel some sims into this little bit of area over here. Do the same this side too. Just those natural lines where you would expect people to take shortcuts, essentially. Now, in order to encourage people over here, we could actually place some parks. Exactly what that looks like, I'm not sure. Possible ring park, maybe, and then we can use the pedestrian pathways with a bit of Anarchy, and then just expand out the palette, like so. Hopefully this will bring in some sims walking around these areas, also picking up the invisible pedestrian paths, and that was bringing some oaks or something. Just so we have a bit of an idea as to how things are going to develop. I don't mind getting some smaller rocks around here too, to come back to nature. Start bringing in some tiny little baby rocks. And we'll do some fan and prop work during our time lapse, of course, but regardless of that, we can now start to see our little university campus develop. The homeless are still present, apparently. But they immediately moved in, didn't they? Are they all still walking down the highway? Yep. Still droves of them. They really are walking from miles away to actually get out of the city, aren't they? Because of course there's no other way out for them. There's no internal train yet, so they all have to walk. A very dangerous walk as well. This is going to be a busy intersection today. But regardless, I'm pretty happy with that as a general waterfront there. That's going to be really nice, isn't it? Might even be tempted for some smaller marinas here as well. We'll see. I'm sure I'll always manage to find an excuse to get a marina in. So then, of course, we do have the college library, which I would love to also have as part of the campus as well. And why don't we have this on the corner? I'd like the campus to be kind of spread around the roads rather than just in kind of one isolated development. Like, you know, you can cross from the main building over to what could hypothetically be a science wing or a medical wing or whatever you want to call it. So it's still part of the same campus, just across the street is really the vibe I want to try and instill into this build today. So with this road here, I would like to prepare this before we do any more work, because this will be quite an important one, so I want to make sure it has enough room. Now let's just trim it back a little bit. And then push this back up toward the hill here, so just want to slope this out, and then soften it back in so it doesn't look too unnatural. And I think we'll have another 4-lane road coming down here. So let's bring it no road guideline. This is going to head pretty much over here, around the base of this mountain. We could also slow the couplet down here too, so it's kind of like a couplet system running through the town. Kind of downgrade it into zonable road. Might be a cool idea. We'll have to see how traffic performs though. So of course I don't want this new road to be too close to this junction here, otherwise that's just going to be two nodes too close together. Now let's come out with a bit of guideline and curve. Let's do, and then I reckon we'll grab some one-way roads. See if we can do some little slip lane stuff over here. Let's actually make that a 2-lane one-way. Right there. And then let's do some turn lane stuff here. So we don't want a right turn out of here, and we don't want a left turn out of there. Should take a little bit of the pressure off, and probably don't want people turning left there either. That should be okay. Could possibly have a look at maybe bringing that up into a bit of a symmetrical design. Or asymmetrical, rather. Yeah, something like that I think might be a little bit better. And then we can expect a lot of traffic to come up and down here. Like I said, I'm imagining industry over in this little area over here, so I want to make sure that the roads can handle that industrial traffic in the future. That'll come down, that'd be quite nice. You can probably justify some asymmetry up and down here as well, actually. We'll have a little look at that. Let's also take a moment as well just to line up these roads into the new infrastructure, just so we have lots of connectivity. That should be fine. I reckon we'll also have a smaller road coming out of here as well, because we want to place some assets down here in a second. So campus would not be complete without sports fields, so I am very loosely taking inspiration from the University of Notre Dame in Indiana for this, and I can see some nice sports field configurations. So let's have a look at placing some American football. Now, do I want this campus here actually now? I feel like I might move it actually. Let's just... Oh, where do I want you? Maybe this side of the road. Though it is just a little bit too far out the distance there, isn't it? Which is a little bit irritating. How about if we have you there? And then trim off a sub-element. Can we get rid of the hedges? We can, yeah. We'll do our own hedges instead, that's fine. We did have a pathway moving through here as well, didn't we? And then I'm just going to trim that hedge off again as well. And I think we'll spend a bit more time reworking in that walkable pathway. Is there a secondary door on this building? Oh, but there is a doors pack, isn't there? Which I don't think I have turned on. Now, I suppose we could use a pergola though. Yeah, there is a doors texture pack essentially, so maybe we can add on another door so it looks like people are walking into the back of the building. Might be quite fun. So I don't think, unless I'm obviously missing it. I think there is only one entrance, isn't there? Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's detailing Egg's job. We'll wait for that to come to fruition. Back to our sports pictures. This is what I wanted to be over here for. So let's go ahead and just relocate this onto this side. I'm going to use better Bulldozer again, and I just want to trim back some elements of this. So I want rid of the signage, the hedges, the surfaces as well. Essentially just want as clean a possible football pitch as I can visualize, I think. Probably even get rid of some of the bins as well. We can actually delete the homeless tents too, which is handy. Trim a few of them back. Yeah, so this is pretty much perfect. When you do move it, you will see kind of the ghost elements of the things you've deleted come back. Don't worry about that. Once you stop moving it, you'll see they all fade away again. Cool. And probably don't want that little food truck there either. So just, well, for the time being, one campus football pitch up against the road here. Don't mind that at all. And I think we'll do the same again. Let's have 2 campus football pitches over here. And I'm just going to use better Bulldozer to trim off those same elements again. And this time, I just want to use MoveIt to slide those 2 roofs together. Could be a pretty seamless fusing there, I think. It'll even give us some basic little detailing down the sides there as well. And I'm going to be happy with that. Of course, these guys are on the flipped orientation, so let's make sure we do provide a road connection back in for them. Something to that extent, I imagine. And then I'd also like a football pitch here as well. Actual football. And pretty similar job again. Just come back into better Bulldozer. No surfaces and no detailed sub-elements. I just want the very bare essentials, naked pitch and the stands. Now, I actually don't mind the fencing on that one. I think we might keep that, I think. Yeah, I think we will. And then same with this. Just want to flip it around and then try and arrange the stadiums. Let's make sure we delete all surfaces that we don't want. Yeah, try and arrange the stands so it's somewhat sensible, I think. And then this configuration should leave everyone happy. And with a road connection. I think we'll run some walkable pathways in between these areas here. Just so it makes sense that fans, families, other related sports people can all get around. I've just noticed that we missed a sub-element there. It's like there's some little ghost goals somewhere, isn't there? Make sure I haven't missed any more of those. I think that's them. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's bring our pathway down here as well. And then we'll throw in some trees. Always a fan of the oaks. And now we can have a little, essentially localized varsity sports building nearby to our university. Which I think, especially when you're taking inspiration from American campuses, is always a big theme, isn't it? Where we do get some more awkward spots around here, I think that'd be great for some car parking. Because I believe in America, college football is, I don't think it's as big as the NFL, is it? But it's certainly extremely popular. Having spoke to a few of our American friends in the Discord, believe a lot do follow college football more than the NFL, so I think it'd be cool to have a bit of a college football campus here. I think it really blends in, doesn't it, with the general education and university theme. I do like that. And yes, please, everyone, we have people using the mall up the front of the campus. Really is great how much of a just superb addition of visible pedestrian pathways are, aren't they? Really fun. Gonna take the same way back out? Go on. Oh no. No, she's coming into the campus. I thought she's gonna walk back down another one. That would have been exciting, wouldn't it? But pedestrians now start to pick this up. There we go. There's another one. This is Pete Kokai, everyone. It's all downhill from here. This is oh, that is great, isn't it? So with our demands, we've got pretty equal splits across most things at the minute, especially the residential and commercial. Because we're so limited in campus-themed assets, obviously there's no campus DLC at this point. That gives us media labs and libraries and all this other stuff that we know from the campus DLC. I'd like to try and fuse in some buildings to create this, essentially. So I think we're going to drop in some high-density American commercial. Now, I'm not a huge lover of all the sub-elements, so I imagine we'll remove a fair bit of the obnoxious signage. These little side billboards, I think I can... No, actually, no. Absolutely not. On second thought, no. So, trim back the occasional one. And I would like to try and somewhat match it to this colour scheme over here, which is kind of a grey, brown, black scheme, isn't it? So let's open up the building with Recolour. I actually wonder... Ah, yes, we can. If I copy this whole colour set, and then paste it to this one, it will automatically just take on the building's colour theme, won't it? Which I don't think I'm averse to. Just kind of get a bit of a setback view here. But the Recolour mod is coming in extremely useful there, isn't it? I'm quite happy with that. I do like it. So that's going to help satisfy a bit of commercial demand. We already have a business in here that's running at 106% efficiency. And then I'd like to grab a high density tower, so yeah, don't want anything too big. Let's go for this one here, seems pretty good. I'd like to try a fuse in here just to change up the shape of the building a little bit. And then if we grab this one here, paste it, it will also take on the same colour scheme. And now we've got a much more different shaped and varied building as part of our campus there. Which on its own maybe stands out a little bit, but I think as we build them up around here, we can definitely get away with that. Let's bring in some more road frames to hold essentially more campus space, so where are we going to go here? This is the road up toward the telecoms tower. So let's say out of here, and then we'll bring this straight along the back. And then we can do a few more of these. So I would like to start satisfying some commercial demand. So let's go for some high density commercial. I think the European ones might not work too badly, actually. Definitely get away with this one as a bit of a campus asset, I think, couldn't I? Yeah, and we've got that Recolour on copy and paste, so we can throw that one in there. I don't think it's too bad, is it? When you've got the college library in front as kind of a bit of context, you can definitely see this as a bit of an expanded campus space, I think. Now let's see if we can grab another high density tower as well. I'm not also averse to using some apartments either. And that one's quite tasteful. Again, let's try and push it up. Make sure we're not obstructing too many windows with the fuse. And then once we're happy, let's throw in the copy and paste. And now we can hopefully start to make some more unique building spaces here. I don't want it to become too high-rise-y, like we're definitely not in the city centre here. So I would not be averse to breaking up this space here, maybe with just a little bit of green space. So sticking a basketball court nearby. Let's get some pathways through here as well. Probably with the pedestrian path, actually. I'd quite like to see people crossing around here. Bring that in, and then hopefully as the area develops, we can do Lots of nice little kind of custom blocks like this that really help to kind of flesh out the campus. That's really what I'm trying to do today. Just because of the lack of campus assets. Being a little bit creative with Recolour and MoveIt, and a bit of Plop The Growables. I think we can somewhat authentically expand our campus around here, can't we? So main building, library, medical wing, science building, etc. It's all part of the same kind of overarching campus space, isn't it? And of course, that's also going to help us bring down some of our RCI as well. Because we have things like residential and commercial blended in as part of the campus asset. I wouldn't mind some more sports fields, actually. How about a couple of tennis courts? Let's do 3 tennis courts over this way. Then we did do a lot of very awkward terraforming here, didn't we? So I would like to begin just reforming that mountain a little bit so these slopes come back down to essentially the edge of our campus here. Let's push this one up as well. Are we out of water, are we? We are indeed out of water. So it's going to be another good point for a water tower, which I'd actually love to have. I wonder, can we squeeze you in here, little water tower? Will you fit? Oh, it looks like it will. That should satisfy water demands. Yeah, wonderful. That is a fits and sits moment, isn't it? If there ever was one. Right here, it's going to be a great little town entrance point in that as well, isn't it? We've got some bushes around the bottom of that. Absolutely fantastic. But either way, I think that leaves us at a good point for a detailing time lapse. I want to expand all the palettes around the campus here just to help respect the detailing that's already on it. Work with all these spaces. I'll probably get some commercial along here as well, alongside some more waterfront detailing. And just kind of expand the vibes out from Sully with some low density, I think, up this way. Lots of prop work in around the open spaces and some custom car parking in spaces where we referenced it as well, alongside detailing up the new build to settle in alongside the highway and more likely kind of explore where this road is going to go as well. I'm not sure yet. We will see, as always. But let's do some detailing of Kokai's first ever college campus, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little look around the new college town, shall we? So over here, we have included lots of extension of the organic waterfront greenbelt that spills out of Sully Marina, which is really busy. Hooking in this pathway is really starting to channel the Sims through this pathway now, which is super nice to see a little bit of walking like this in CS2. Some commercial along the waterfront that we hadn't filled out in this area, with lots of rocky outcrops and bushes and trees knocking about near the water. Over here, done a little bit of a key frame up against the road. There's a very nice combination, isn't it? Kind of a little bit of poor man's road builder there with the pedestrian, medium with trees, and then the road next to it. So I really like how that came out. This spills into another little green belt on one of the kind of headlands that we had, with some benches and gazebos to be enjoyed for the Kokai locals. And then we spill into the college campus itself, which I'm really happy with the repurposing and the recolour of the assets to kind of expand the college as a more, I guess, kind of technological campus, I suppose. And the position on the waterfront is very nice indeed, isn't it? Really nice way to round out this pretty awkward space we have between the two mountains here. Well, I guess 3 mountains, isn't it? Or hills, I guess. Coming down the main street, we watch some car parking over here, just getting lots of use. Also chucked in some residential on the hillside and on the outskirts as well. We'll get to that in a second. But then we do have lots of these buildings down here. We've got a little basketball court in here. Onto the waterfront, we have lots of texture landscaping with the lawns, using the grass textures, with trees around there. Hopefully one of these folk are going to take the pathway. Did see someone go up the middle, which was very exciting. There we go, someone on the right there as well. Some of the checkered lawn textures in and around this central moor with some bushes and riverbed texture, which really helps kind of frame the big important front of that building, doesn't it? So I'm super happy with it. I think even actually, probably by now, yeah, we can actually go ahead and add the extension on too. I think we need that capacity, don't we? Yeah, pushes us slightly back into the green, which is nice. And slightly widens out the building from that perspective now too, which is cute. There we go, he's going to take the pathway. You in the middle, there you go, someone crossing over there. Very cool. Really love. Great and walkable space, it's always a lot of fun. But yeah, the full waterfront is getting a nice bit of use, which is fun to see. Then around the back, more expansion of those textures, all which have invisible walking pathways on them. So the Sims, if they wish, can walk up and down here. As a prime example, right there. And then that runs right up to the back of the college here as well. So really using, again, the palette of the building to kind of expand around it. And I think it's worked out quite nicely here for what we've done with it anyway. Over here, dropped in some apartments. There's a little bit of student accommodation nearby to the homeless infested tennis courts. And then a little bit of fusing around here on a corner, where we do have a fountain with some of the vanilla planters available. I also did a little custom car park here as well and cut in with some key work because the change in terrain here was a little bit too harsh for textures to be having a nice time. So a little bit of key wall upgrade in there on that corner. And then this leads back down into that main road where we have some more fused assets, mix of residential and commercial, to function yet again as more university expansion with some prop work. 4 tables in and around the buildings as we come off of the highway here. Which is nice, this junction's still performing pretty well, and it's nice to see it flow now as well. I really like how they peel off here onto the other side of the road, and then wait during the lights to cross over. A really nice, cool little intersection, and it is still flowing. It did get a little bit busy with the mass migration of new residents coming in here. But, you know, I like a busy highway. It makes it look a bit more active, doesn't it? So this is getting some nice flow now too. The tree line has been installed against the highway again. Before we merge back into those fields that we set up during the episode. There's a bit of campus sports ground again, which sits really nicely in this little kind of pocket town, isn't it? It's nestled in amongst the hills here. See the telecoms tower up there as well. It's a great sight line, isn't it? More low density housing spills back into that highway high-speed road, which I don't think we'll do much building around here, I think. Maybe another bit of residential over this corner, but otherwise we'll keep this pretty natural. There's a bit of a kind of ring road high-speed access. Be able to move around without them getting on the highway, which I think is a principle we'll run with as we head down here as well. Just a high-speed road so they can access this next area without always having to use this national road couplet system, which does get busy at times, so we'll keep that going. There is more residential tucked up the highway here as well. That's a great approach into the university town there, isn't it? See the spire of the college, some of the other university buildings knocking around as well. Really like how that all came out. And then there's also a little custom suburban playground over here as well, just using some of the new props that were included in the details update just to kind of fill some awkward corner space. Just a little playground with some trees and some rocks outside someone's house. With a really nice kind of mini skyline has almost developed around here, hasn't it, with the introduction of those assets, which is very fun to see. And then we also did some further water detailing around here as well. I don't think we'll build on this area here. Kind of let the next town take over now as we begin to develop these areas, as we do also hit Big City, which is very nice indeed. Yeah, we're not too close to the tar boundary here, so some kind of industrial port town I imagine will develop over here. And the city is beginning to show issues with power and garbage collection, so it's likely in the next episode we will invest in some garbage production. I'm not sure what's available. We do have the recycling centre, and we've probably got the budget to place something like that now. We can start to afford this larger infrastructure. Incineration plant could also come in as well, but I imagine that's going to be quite a pricey number to upkeep while the city is still so young. So power and garbage port is incoming, I imagine, because we did have to upgrade a couple of the wind turbines over there to help sustain the new buildings that have gone down today. But otherwise, guys, that will do it. Let's thank you all so much for watching. I really enjoyed piecing together a little waterfront college town here. A nice little bump in Edinburgh's education. And I imagine we'll have to repurpose the college building into something else at some point, because otherwise the map is going to be littered with these college buildings and college towns everywhere just to keep up with demand. So maybe a town centre hall at some point we can repurpose it and use better bulldozers a little more extensively just to trim the building back to its absolute kind of singular building without all the stuff around it. So we'll see how creative we can be with that. Massive shout out to all the patrons supporting the channel, with a special roll call to Andrew Perez, Louis Adlam and Oh Hey Casino. If you would like to help support the channel, there are links down to Instant Gaming and Patreon, which are the best ways to do so. Otherwise, let me know what you think of this one. Are you convinced with the repurposing and recolour of some commercial and residential around it to kind of expand the footprint of a university? I think it turned out not too badly, if I do say so myself. Otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much indeed for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.